That bit rate, though. Ooh, it's in the red. Good evening, everybody. We're live now. That's what YouTube is telling me. I just got the notification. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Saltkast. It was going to be the midnight show. And we're going to talk about a bunch of mundane bullshit involving Chris. It was going to be the midnight. Oh, well, my own little echo. I shudder to think. We were going to watch watch a few news clips. You know, Chris Cuomo's deposition. There's a part where under oath he talks about being bullied by his brother and his friends, and I thought that was pretty funny. Neil Young tries to be a internet janitor, and it blows up in his face. So fuck him running. Another thing with, who is it, Eric Clapton? So I just wanted to shit on these guys. And then I had a bit of an epiphany, so to speak. I realized that something had happened this weekend that it's probably of more interest to the people that watch this live stream than a bunch of mundane bullshit involving Chris fucking Cuomo. So, strap in, lads. We've got a story for you tonight. But without further ado, let's step into the intro here. There we go. I feel like that's the nice little jingle we could start with there. So let's move on in. Welcome officially, everybody, to the Saltkast, Porky's pilgrimage to Portugal. Now, to set the stage, I remember there's a lot of crossover, perhaps with this audience, and maybe a lot of A-log channels. You know, the Ralph Hader Club. You know, it's a fun back and forth. Now, to those who are uninitiated, that are unaware of who Ethan Ralph is and his show, The Kill Stream, and Tequila Sunrise, Ethan Ralph hosts a podcast that at this point hosts boring, mundane, pseudo-intellectual debates between people like Mr. Girl and Richard Spencer. And another frequently appearing guest would be somebody, Vito. So it's kind of, what we have is an obscure part of the internet that at one point, maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago, hosted high-octane, just crazy debates between these random personalities that would just go at each other hard. And it created very interesting entertainment. But over time, like with most things, you know, you put anything on a long enough timeline, the survival rate is 0, yeah? So it circled the drain slowly but surely. And as our protagonist, Ethan Ralph, was watching the world that was basically, that he kind of stumbled onto, kind of fade away from him. He became less patient. He became like kind of disillusioned. Like his opinion of his influence on the internet, like it's inflated to the highest degree. Like if you listen to this guy for 5 seconds talk about how important he is or how famous he is, and most people have never heard about him. I have never once in my life. I randomly, if I talk to a guy on a consistent basis, you know, we become what they call friends. And I might mention, hey, have you ever heard of Ethan Ralph? And I've never gotten yeah, I've heard of that guy. Not once. Never once has that happened. So anyway, I'm not sure, is the sound bot, the chat bot rather, yeah, it should be working. So what I wanted to do, chat, is give you this. I would like you to imagine... It's a little too loud, my mistake. I would like you to imagine a world where there is a young man who grew up under strenuous circumstances. Single mother, household. His father, who knows what Ronnie Ralph was up to. But there is a victim. If you look at this from the right perspective, you see this troubled young man grow up and never really mature past the age of like 12. So he's now in his 30s. He cannot, for the sake of him, forget a grudge. He's burnt every bridge. All of his friends are gone. Now, the most recent, and this is why we play the Beyond Belief music for you to enjoy. The most recent bridge burning involved one Andy Worski. Now, I'm sure the Kino Casino is going to be full of laughter and promise tomorrow over on the Daka Daka channel, and I would encourage you to check it out. But I have to ask you to consider the alternative. What if one King of Pole tracked down Ethan Ralph in Portugal? Or perhaps, maybe, it was Coach Red Pill. Maybe Coach Red Pill and his legion of, what do you call them? Coach Red Pill monkeys? Red Pill monkeys? I'm trying to think of an analogy for Fight Club here for Coach Red Pill, but I can't. My wit escapes me. So, in order to own Andy Worski for daring ever stop coming on his show or to associate with people that are involved with fucking with Ralph behind the scenes, Ralph decided that the greatest thing that he could do to own Andy Worski, to own the haters, is to showcase that he's actually a big success on the internet and that he could randomly just go to Portugal. He's that rolling. He's that hood rich. Now, there is a funny detail, an amusing detail, regarding a GoFundMe that he has for his alleged son, one Xander Vickers. That's a whole nother thing. Like, if we bring up the Vickers, that's going to be a whole nother stream. Like, watching this man turn his baby mama's father into a certified A-log has been I recently saw, I'll try not to go too far down this rabbit hole, but I recently saw Mr. Vickers saying, yeah, you know that tweet where he said my daughter had a loose pussy? I want to get it framed. I want to put it on the wall. Like, that's the type of shit we're talking about here. Just insanity. Pure fucking insanity. But, like I said, let's not go too far down the rabbit hole. Let's just take a peek. We'll keep going. So, in order to own the haters, to show everybody out there that ever doubted that Ralph is out of his element, that his time as a somewhat relevant figure in a vague niche part of the, whatever you want to call it, the podcasting sphere, it was beginning to wane. He said nay. No, maybe there was somebody else saying nay, but also Ralph said nay. I will go to Portugal, and I will show them all that they are wrong. That I am, in fact, Ethan fucking Ralph. So Ethan goes to Portugal, meets up with a fan there, and I'm going to stop the music there. Dick Masterson was supposed to go with him, and Dick alleges that he had rolled his ankle and was unable to go. So now Ralph, out of the comfort and the loving embrace of one Dick Masterson, was now put in a position where he would have to look like a fool for a second and say, you know what, fuck this, maybe I'll stay home with my girl. I have to go now. I just have to go. So he goes there. He has an experience at a Burger King. He takes a picture with it, famously. Maybe we can find that somewhere. I'm sure it won't be too hard to find. And apparently can't get into it anywhere because he's unvaccinated. So he has to eat this Burger King, which everyone's kind of, at this point, laughing at the absurdity that this man, in some desperate attempt to have a W, bought a plane ticket to a place he's not familiar with halfway around the world, leaving his girlfriend, who's 7 months pregnant, at home, while he goes there pretty much openly saying, yeah, he's planning on fucking, like, prostitutes and doing drugs. Christ is king. This character's larger than life, man. Like, he's more than a cartoon character. He's somehow more cartoony than a cartoon character. It just blows my mind that somebody like Ralph exists. But anyway, so after he eats at the Burger King, he poses with the BK crown, and everyone on his sub forum kind of ribs him. He calls it the fan forum. There's a little bit of truth to that, I think. But they rib him a little bit. Ah, man, so you flew halfway around the world to eat at a Burger King, to read Kiwi Farms, and rage at people on Twitter. So this encouraged him to maybe be proactive, to go out a little bit, to say, hey, you know what, fuck the haters. I'm going to go out and I'm going to have a great time. I don't give a shit what anybody thinks. Well, as long as they think that I'm also a winner and a huge success on the internet. So, I think that's around the point where we can switch over. So Sunrise Media does the work. I like this here. A thumb for a thumb leaves the whole world gunted. Good stuff. But this account does a good job documenting the misadventures of our protagonist. So I'm just gonna sit back. This is about a 40-second clip, 39-second clip. I'm just gonna sit back and let this play.
Gonna move to Syria. I'm not a fucking Portuguese motherfucker like him, so I may be getting it right, may not. It doesn't matter. I'm white. I'm an American. It doesn't matter. I'll say however I want, and they'll still welcome me. Their women will still render their garments at the mere sight of my American dollar. It doesn't matter what I call them. You see, it doesn't. I'm a white man. I just show up and show the money and just do as I please.
So that seems to have worked out very well for Ralph. He looks like he might be permanently disfigured from the fucking beating that he was given. There's a part of me that even in spite of knowing enough about Ralph to know that this was probably not unprovoked. But this guy has been kind of like he's been throwing punches at anybody. And I think it was, I wish I had the clip on hand. But a couple months ago, Ralph's arch nemesis, Josh Connor Moon of Kiwi Farms, had given Ralph the advice on like live stream, just throw away, hey, if I was you, I wouldn't fly away to a bunch of other countries all the time, because if other people see this shit, they're just gonna kick your ass. You can't let the Ralpha male behavior outside of its containment zone. I would encourage you to stay the fuck out of a place where you're going to get your ass beat. And it looks like that's exactly what happened. Now, I believe we should, at some point, have Ralph's take on this, right? Because I'll just give you the take. We don't have to find Twitter. But he says that basically somebody came up to rob him. He chased after them. Then he was surrounded by 4 people total who beat the fuck out of him. And he said, of course, because this is Ralph we're talking about, he has to establish to everybody that he didn't go down like a bitch. He went down swinging. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that Ralph didn't stop fighting until he was physically unable to. That's what it looked. That beating that he got looks like somebody who refused to stay the fuck down. At the very least, you see something like that and you hope, man, maybe this guy can change. Like, hopefully, if this doesn't open his eyes, pardon the pun, if this doesn't open up his eyes, I don't know what will. Like, you can't go everywhere acting like this, Ralph. You gotta be a Southern gentleman. I know it's kind of shitty of me to be, like, saying this to a guy who's, like, beat the fuck up, but what the fuck did you expect, dude? I saw, Chad. I don't have the receipts with me right now, but I can tell you the allegations are at least out there, and you can probably find the shit yourself if you look. Because I kind of did this as an impromptu thing. I was going to talk about Chris Cuomo, and like, well, why the fuck would I? Like, this is a story. Here's a story for you, Chad. I got a story for you.
How dare you?
You don't have to be a shithead everywhere you go. You could just be respectful to people. Even if they're shitty to you, be respectful anyway. And just don't... I mean, Christ is king, right? Turn the other cheek? Who'd have thunk it? I want to feel bad for him. There's a part of me. But it's so small in comparison to the bigger part, which knows that he probably talked shit to somebody or did something foolish, like run after somebody into a fucking dark alley and just did things that most people would know, hey, this is a bad idea, don't do this. Or, the average person hears, hey, don't take a spite-filled vacation to a place you've never been to before. I mean, this guy continuously does shit that just blows everybody's mind. And, by the way, Chad, I want to say right here and now for all God and everybody watching to hear, rather, I miss the man purse. We lost the man purse, folks. Ethan Ralph had a man purse, an Armani, Giorgio Armani,
How dare you.
man purse, and these motherfuckers stole it. What a shame. It's like the Sonichu medallion getting fucked up. You know? That's a piece of internet history. Now it's just washed away like tears in the fucking rain. Yeah, big F's in chat for sure. That man purse was going places. That was going to be Xander's fucking retirement fund. No, I don't think he speaks Portuguese. Now, he did have a friend named Sergio with him. Now, I think the best place, like I mentioned before, the best place to really get this lore is from this channel, Sunrise Media. So let's just check this out real quick. It's crazy. I really do think you could just take a lot, like this character could be marketed as a cartoon character. So yeah, let's watch and listen to this real quick.
deal.
So it's a bit of a longer video, so of course we won't watch the whole thing. But I wanted to get to, I believe there's a part here where Dick is going on about how this is going to be a great, this was going to be a great trip, but he fucked his ankle up.
What do you mean?
I mean,
Well, one of them.
I think that's
Oh,
pretty
go ahead,
illegal,
go ahead.
right? Right out in the open?
Yeah, it's legal.
Well, not. It's legal here, yeah.
Yeah.
What? Coke is legal in Portugal?
So-
Bro, heroin is legal.
Unbelievable.
It's like a real country with
Every
adults.
drug.
Oh, I had no idea.
Even pussy's legal.
Yeah.
Well, that's, I mean, come on.
Not regulated at all.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know that any of that is actually true. I think it's decriminalized, which is different than being, like, legal. But in any case, Dick was sounding the fucking hype squad. Like, he's like, fuck yeah, dude. Portugal? Are you kidding me? This is gonna be amazing. That's a great place to just skip to. And that's what's on the screen. The next clip is Ralph and Dick hyping up their would-be Portugal trip together while hosting a debate about legalized prostitution.
Don't have to. I think the initial conversation
now.
we got into
So
was
you're
certain
saying
countries
that now, because I mean that's never been easier than it is today.
paying for sex is very difficult. If
Paying for... I'm gonna let that sit in the air for a second. I want to set the stage, chat. Like, really think about what the people in Portugal saw. They saw fellow Portuguese citizens around them. And then if they looked slightly down, like a couple inches downwards, they could see the top of the head of this distinctive American. I can't think of the sport to call him, like what would you call that? Like eating contest American? I don't know. That was a bad joke. Swing and a miss. But anyway, imagine from their perspective. You see this guy wearing a purse, an Armani purse, waving around a selfie stick. Because no doubt he's like posing for pictures and doing the whole like I'm a super tourist thing, but he's like by himself. Just basically sending off a signal to anyone to see, hey, not only am I going around and I obviously have money to spend, but I'm alone. I'm vulnerable. Like the common sense things that a human being has, like survival instinct, where you go to a place you've never been before and you just start like, I'm gonna live it up like a player. I want to make it sure everyone knows I have money. The fuck you do, dude? Especially in fucking Portugal. Just it's kind of
was
crazy.
legal.
So now, where are we at, right, in this timeline? Ralph is currently in he's bedridden. They are not stingy with painkillers here in Portugal. And I believe that's the last we've heard of him. He's just been out in a fucking medically induced coma after getting like it appears that his teeth got kicked out, man. His front teeth. Like, he looks really bad. Like, this was a bad beating. This isn't a beating you get for like something casual. Like, this is, at the very least, he fucking antagonized the people or pissed them off to some degree to where they gave him an extra beating. I don't know. What do you think, Chad? I've been kind of just freestyling on this. Like, normally I write notes and I have like an itinerary, but you know, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, how the hell is he gonna come back and do the show? Like, he's not gonna be able to talk. It's crazy, man. Like, this is kind of what I, for lack of a better word, feared would happen. But considering all of the antagonizing that he was doing himself towards Portuguese citizens on Twitter, one citizen said to him, "Get the fuck out of my country," and he says, "Come and make me." We're talking like that type of shit. It's just only a matter of time. And so what are the chances? You know, he's still there. He's in a hospital bed. But what if he gets fucking COVID there? Then he can't come home for however long. Who knows how long it's going to be? What, 5 days? These arbitrary rules where they just kind of move things around. It's hard to say. He's going to turn off the face camera for sure. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, he probably should, man. I don't even know about sharing that image he shared to Twitter. Like, that looks so bad. Like, I think he thought it would come off like, hey, you should see what the other guys look like. Dude, I'm sure the other guys are fine. Looks like they didn't need the other 3 people. So, fuck, man. Rip Manpurse and rip Ralph's ego. This is going to do a number to the guy who's already, like, upset at fucking life constantly. Incredibly insecure man.